Hello again. Let's start with lesson number 2, the diversity in living world. So first of all, we should know what is diversity. As discussed in the earlier chapter, diversity is variety. Now here a wise saying is shown to us. Trees stand in the sun and give shade to the others. Their fruits are also for others. Likewise, good people bear all the hardship and bring welfare to others. They give to others whatever they have earned. So, very nice saying is for you, children. You are going to be the future citizens. If you do good deeds to yourself and the surroundings, people will benefit from them. Now, observe here what is happening. Children are in the park. Some of them are looking at the books. Some of them are looking at the nature. There are grown up people who are observing them. Now let's read what is written here. It's a pleasant morning. After yesterday's refreshing rain, Dr. Raghu and Maniram Chacha, uncle, have been invited to the school by the science teacher, Madam Sulekha, to facilitate an exciting nature walk. So children, they are outside, look at the nature, observe it. As we saw that in science, the first step is observation. Dr. Raghu is a scientist at the nearby research laboratory, and Maniram Chacha is an elderly person from a nearby community. Maniram Chacha is an expert in mimicking bird calls. He's also brilliant at identifying a variety of plants and animals. To prepare them for the nature walk, Dr. Raghu informs the students that the objective of this walk is to experience the beauty and variety of the plants and animals in the nature. Now remember, whenever you go outside, you should accompany some grown-up people and follow their instructions. When you are going to unknown place, you should be very careful. That's what these elderly people are telling the children, to follow the instructions, to observe the nature, the beauty, the plants and the animals. How many types are there? Look at the color, look at the size and shape. So they are all curious, they are very excited. The teacher advises the students to carry a notebook, pen, and water bottle. As they walk, they begin exploring the plants and animals around them. Dr. Raghu advises the students to notice variety of snails in the park and emphasizes respecting all the living creatures and observing them without disturbing. Now, some children are mischievous. They throw stones at animals. They pluck the plants' leaves, which is not a good thing. That's what Dr. Raghu advises the students, not to disturb the nature. We are a part of nature. We are not supposed to disturb it. Now, further, Maniram Chacha tells the students not only to observe different plants and animals, but also to carefully listen to different sounds. The students come across a variety of plants, including grasses, bushes, and large trees. They also observe a variety of birds sitting on the branches of the trees, butterflies moving from flower to flower, and monkeys jumping from one tree to another. They record their observations in the notebook and discuss them with Dr. Raghu and Maniram Chacha. Now see what is happening. According to the scientific method, the first step is observation. That is what the children are doing. They are in a new environment. They are observing the grasses, bushes, and large trees. Now see, grasses are small, bushes are little big, and large trees, they're very tall. Ascending order. They also observe a variety of birds sitting on the branches of the trees, butterflies moving from flower to flower. So different colors of butterflies are there. Monkeys, observing them, mimicking them, jumping from one tree to another. That is what you have to observe. That is what Dr. Raghu and Maniram Chacha is telling the students to observe. The students can hear the chirping of birds. Dr. Raghu informs them that each bird has a unique chirp. Now you might be wondering, does plants and animals have their own language? Plants have some signals by which they can convey different parts of their body, things. Birds and animals also have their language. We don't understand it, but that doesn't mean they don't have any language. They have certain kind of sounds that they produce. So suppose that a tiger is approaching an animal, for example, monkey, sitting on the trees. They make a particular sound. They inform their brothers, their fellow monkeys, that the danger is imminent. It is very near to us. Let's jump from these places away from the danger. So students can hear the chirping of birds. So every bird has a unique chirp. This is an example of diversity. They're signaling, they're mimicking the birds. Students enthusiastically start copying him. Have you ever observed different plants and animals around you? Share your observations with your friends and teacher. Diversity in plants and animals around us. Let's explore and record. Plan a nature walk with your teacher to a park or nearby forest. Observe the different plants, birds, insects, animals. Note the weather. Is it hot, cold, windy, and so on? So whatever observations are there, write it down. Collect different types of fallen leaves. Now here fallen leaves of flowers is written. Don't pluck them. If they are fallen, then only gather them. Don't disturb the nature. Don't pluck the leaves and flower. Record your observations. Make a notebook for it. Stick those leaves, flowers. It's called a scrapbook. Here they have shown us grass, tulsi, holy basil, hibiscus. Now you can see the observations that are made here. Local name of the plant, stem, how it is, soft or thin, how are the leaves, single leaf grown alternatively from different positions, and any other observations you write it down. Make columns like this in your notebook. Make detailed observations for different plants. For example, tulsi, hibiscus, and neem are given here. Now, what similarities and differences are done in it? Now, always remember, I ask this question to all my students. First of all, what is classification and on what basis will you classify things? Most important thing is similarity and differences. Classification is grouping of things into different groups based on similarity and differences. So look at the leaves, how they are. What is the size? What is the color? There are different colors of leaves, you know. What are the differences in them? Observe the stem. Is it tall, short, soft, hard? See the arrangement, branches, and write those things, record those things. That is a very good habit. Now, your observations of the animals. Crow, it lives on the trees, it eats insects and fly and walk. Carry twigs in its beak. Now remember, crow is a very intelligent animal. It's a very, very intelligent bird. Now how are ants? Look at them, see the size, what kind of house they built, how what that's called as a burrow. They have 6 legs and they can lift more weight than their body many times. Very heavy for their body to lift, but they can do it. They're incredibly intelligent. They chemically signal each other. And believe me, most of them are females. Very few males are there. It's very interesting when you learn science about the ants and insects. It is very interesting. Now, cows, they eat grasses. Similarly, you can make more observations and entries into this table. So what are the similarity and differences? Again, these words came, similarity and difference. Observe the animals based on it, observe the plants based on it, observe the birds based on it. You would have observed some of the animals living on the land, birds living on the trees, fish living in the water, and some animals like frog living on both land as well as water. Animals consume a diverse range of foods. Now, the food that you give to your dog, do not give it to the fish. They have different food habits. So write down your observation in the scrapbook, in your notebook, and gather details about it. So while traveling to or from school, observe your surroundings. Look for the variety of plants and animals. Add the names of any plants and animals that you have not listed. Now, let's do an activity. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Think of a plant or animal that you've closely observed, appreciated much. Now draw the plant and animal that you've thought on blackboard. What are your observations? Various plants and animals have been drawn. So every student is different. They might draw some different shapes, but there are some similarities and differences. Here they have shown us that animals, plants, they have seen. The children are drawing on the board. So you can see trees, grasses, bushes, rabbit-like animal, tortoise, and so on. This activity can be done by you also. How many different plants and animals are there in the entire class? Do you think that there may be more varieties? So this variety contributes to the biodiversity in the region. Remember this word, biodiversity, biological diversity, plants and animals that are there in variety. Many types are there. Each member in the biodiversity of region has a different role to play. For example, trees provide food, shelter. Some birds and other animals get it. Animals help in spreading the seeds after eating the fruits. Now remember, the plant produces the seed for reproduction. Plant does not have any other function for itself. It spends a lot of energy to make the fruits. And when the seeds fall down, they're taken away by these animals along with the fruit. And the seed germinates. If it germinates, then it becomes a very big tree. So how to group plants and animals? We have already discussed it based on similarity and differences. This is what you have to remember. Similarity and differences. Again and again I'm telling you. This is the word to be remembered. Now collect pictures of various plants and animals. Cut their pictures from old magazine, newspapers, charts and other sources. Paste them. Divide your class into 5 to 6 students. Pull the cards prepared by the students in your group. Now, various features of plants and animals. Recall that the plants and animals you have seen and listed, group them on basis of common features. So, where do these plants and animals live? What kind of environment they have? What are the food habits of the animals? Can they fly? Can they swim? Based on these common features, you group them. And you'll see different types of plants and animals are grouped in based on their characters. So presence and absence of flowers in plants, hard, soft stem, eating habits, place they live. That is how you group. How to group plants? So you have seen the different varieties, variations in the stem, flowers, and more, leaves and all, size, shape, color. What is their height? Observe them closely and you can just classify them. That is what is given here. So here a sample classification is there: mango tree, rose tree, and tomato. So see the height. What is the color? What is the nature of the stem, branches, and name of the plant? So what differences do you observe? Herbs, shrubs, and trees. So here they have shown us a tree is very big, a shrub, and then a herb. So you see the stem, from that you can make out. Some plants are not as tall as trees. These plants often have brown woody stem, start branching very close to the ground. These stems are hard but not as thick as the stem of the trees, and these are called shrubs. Some plants are typically small, soft green stem. These are herbs. For example, tomato plant. Some have very weak stem. They take the support of others. Climbers. Some creep on the ground. They are creepers. Remember these words. Herbs, shrubs, and trees. Climbers and creepers. So different varieties of leaves. Observe them carefully. Hibiscus leaf with a reticulate venation. See this line at the center. See how it is. How it is moving. If you just move around the plant, this leaf, you can see the lines on this leaf. They are called as venation. Now banana leaf with parallel venation. See, observe reticulate and parallel. Here is a grass leaf. Most of the food that we eat, that is rice, wheat, that comes from grasses. So all of them have these kind of leaves, grass. So you can see the lines of the leaves. They are called as veins, and type of venation is shown here. So in some leaves, you can observe the net-like pattern around the middle vein, and this pattern is called as reticulate venation. For example, hibiscus. In some leaves, you observe that the veins run parallel. This is parallel venation. You can observe in the picture. So do you think plants can be grouped on basis on various venation present? Yes, you can do that. Visit an open area where wild herbs and grasses are growing. You may use small herbs for this exercise. Using a kurpi, carefully dig out a few herbs without damaging the root. Observe them, loosen the soil, wash the roots of water and observe them. So here they have shown us. You can see the taproot system. One single root is main and branching out. Fibrous root system, there is no single root. All of them are just branches from the top. So carefully observe the roots of mustard plant. The roots of this plant consist of one main root, that is a taproot. Here you can see taproot system mustard plant. Observe carefully. Another example is a plant having taproot is hibiscus. Now grasses, they have very similar size roots arising from the base of the stem. They are called fibrous roots. So is there any relation between the type of venation and the type of roots? Yes, there is. See this. You can make a list of plants and that type of roots, group them based on the characters as parallel and reticulate venation. So, do you observe any relation between leaf venation and the roots? A Sadabahar plant has taproot and reticulate venation. Do other plants with reticulate have taproot? Yes, they do. Lemongrass has fibrous root. So do other which have parallel venation have fibrous root? Yes, they do. Chickpea, that is chana, is a variety of plant with taproot system and reticulate venation. Wheat is an example of fibrous root. I told you wheat and rice, they are grasses. So they have parallel venation. Remember this. Another activity is shown here. You can see the type of seeds. So two types of seeds are there. Say with me, dicotyledon, monocotyledon. Dicot, monocot. So here they have shown us dicot seed, which is chickpea seed. And we have a monocot seed, the maize one. So soak some chickpea and maize seeds in the water for 2 or 3 days. Remove the seed coat of the chickpea. Now observe the structure of the chickpea and maize seed. Are they similar or different? Observe them carefully. You can see that the chickpea has two parts of the seed. You can break them into two parts. But for the maize seed, it's not possible. It is mono. Mono means one. Di means two. Monocotyledon. Dicotyledon. So you would have noticed that chickpea seeds are split into two parts. Each part is called a cotyledon. So if you have two parts, it's dicot. If you have one, it's monocot. So what relation do you observe among the venation? Dicot plants have reticulate venation and monocot have parallel venation. So how do you group animals? We have already seen this based on the type of food, based on the habitat, where they live, how they move. A number of animals are shown here and you can see this in the picture. Observe this picture carefully. You can see water, land, and some animals in the air also. You already know about most of these. So we'll go just ahead. We have already discussed. So here is a table which shows different types of plants and animals. So here we have animals now. Ant, goat, pigeon, housefly, fish and others. How they move. Do they walk? Do they jump? Do they fly? What are the body parts that are used? Observe them carefully and then conclude. Different animals have different types of movement. They can fly, run, crawl, walk, hop or jump. They use different body parts for moving from one place to another. They may have wings, legs or other parts to move. So here we have identified animals based on the type of movements and the body parts. How can we group them? We can group them based on their size, shape, color. They can also be used to group the animals in various other ways. So Janki Amal, some information is given about the scientist, Indian botanist. Now botanist is a person who studies the plants. Botany is a branch of science, a branch of biology, dedicated to environmental work, helped in document and preserve India's rich plant biodiversity. She played a key role in Save Silent Valley as the head of our Botanical Survey of India. She initiated programs to document the plant diversity in India. The success story, Save Silent Valley movement. So this is a story of a forest in Palakkad district of Kerala. It is about preserving untouched beauty of the moist evergreen forest and its rich biodiversity. Now see, there is a place called as Palakkad district in Kerala and it is untouched beauty. Untouched by whom? By us. Wherever humans go, they throw plastic bags and pollute the atmosphere, pollute the plants, pollute the soil. That is what we do. So here it is written, untouched beauty of the evergreen forest. Now, famous Silent Valley was saved by remarkable movement led by common people who were not even residing in the vicinity of the forest. Vicinity is the place where near the forest is vicinity of the forest. Now, battle against the proposal of hydroelectric dam across the Kunti Punjab river persisted for 10 years. People used all possible ways to stop this, spread awareness, newspapers, seminars, petitions. So wherever human beings go in the name of development, what do? They pollute the atmosphere, the plants, the water. They cut the plants, they cut the trees, destroy the biodiversity. So it was stopped in this Save Silent Valley movement. Plants and animals in different surroundings. So you might have observed during nature walks that different plants and animals are there. Record about them. See the different types of animals. Here they have shown us. Fish swims in water, goat walks on ground. So you can make a list of animals where they live. Do they live in the forest? Do they live in the ocean? Here you can see cactus. With extreme adaptation, it doesn't have leaves. It's green in color. It does the photosynthesis, prepares its own food. But it lives in desert. Can observe different type of adaptation. So this word adaptation is coming to us now. Now Deodar tree in mountains. So during discussion in the classroom, Alex recalls he observed cactus plants with thick fleshy stems. In deserts of Rajasthan, Maya shares that she saw trees in the Himalayas of Himachal Pradesh. These trees are conical in shape so that the snow would not gather on them. They have special type of shape. So why does biodiversity of a region vary from one to another? Now remember, wherever you live, you adapt to those kind of environments. So in desert, there is very little water. It's very hot. So plants and animals which can tolerate this kind of environment, they survive. Okay, it's very hot during the day, very cold during the night, extreme weather conditions. Very few animals can survive. Camel is one of them. Cactus is one of the plant which can survive in desert. Similarly, in very cold climate, when we are talking of deodar, so conical shape, sloping branches of the deodar tree enables it to live in this hot, very cold conditions where snow is falling. So you must have understood now biodiversity varies from region to region because of the diverse conditions. Conditions are different and therefore there is biodiversity, remember. Now, camel of the hot desert has long legs, wide hooves. Alex shares that the grandmother told him about the long legs. So camel can easily walk into the sand. It has special protection for its eyes. It has short. On the other hand, the height and legs of the camel in a cold desert are comparatively shorter than those found in hot desert. So here they have just given us comparison. In desert, food is not easily available, so it can store food and water in its body, and it can live without food and water for many days. So special type of environmental conditions, special type of animals can survive. Not all can survive. So what are the other features helps the camel to survive? That is written here. You can have a look at it. Other students also started sharing their observations. So Maya talks about seeing plants with beautiful bright flowers, rhododendrons in the Shola forest of Nilgiris. So here they have given very beautiful rhododendrons. Then Sagar tells about the Andaman Nicobar Islands, huge whales, colorful fish in the ocean, and so on. So we have learned that plants and animals of a particular region make themselves fit to survive there. Imagine that tomorrow you wake up in America. You don't know about the environment. You don't know how the things are done there. You don't know where the shops are. But after a few days, you adapt to it. Shape of deodar tree and height of rhododendron are adaptations to live in their particular habitat. So place where these plants and animals live, that is called habitat. Remember this word, habitat. So for example, habitat of sea turtles, habitat of camel, rhododendron, habitat of plants and animals. All these things you have to remember. Different plants and animals have different environments. According to the environment, they adjust. Now, Salim Ali traveled across India to observe diversity in plants. He prepared a list, documented, recorded, and Kaladul National Park in Bharatpur, Rajasthan, Ranganathiu, Bird Sanctuary in Mandya, Karnataka are the examples of region he preserved. So he wrote about it. He brought awareness in people. So he's called as a birdman of India. So he was given Padma Vibhushan in 1976 for his great work. So we have different types of animals. The plants and animals that live on the land are called terrestrial. So they have terrestrial habitat. Remember this word? Terrestrial habitat. Examples: forest, desert, grassland, and mountains. So plants and animals that live in water, they are aquatic, and which can live on both, they are amphibians. Remember this word, aquatic. Aquatic means living in water. Fish live in water, they are aquatic. Frogs can live both in water as well as on land. They're amphibians. So what would happen if the habitat of the plants and animals is damaged? What would happen if the goat does not eat grass to eat? Does not get grass to eat? Can this fish survive without water? No. So check with your parents, grandparents and neighbors about plants, birds, insects and other animals. Ask them questions. They'll tell you about their homes, their food, their resources. Here there are some pictures shown. Population of Bengal tiger, cheetah and great Indian has declined. So the government of India has special project, Project Tiger 1973, Cheetah Reintroduction Project 2022, and Great Indian Bustard have been declared protected areas. So you can see the Great Indian Bustard, cheetah and tiger. So traditionally protected forests, they are called as sacred groves. So the forests which are preserved in the name of God, they are called as sacred groves. So the sizes may vary. They may be small or big. So they are home to different kinds of plants and animals. They are protected by the community to save biodiversity. Now here there are some key words. You have to remember these words. Adaptation, monocot plants, analyze, compare, create, explore, observe, record, relate, aquatic, reticulate venation, biodiversity, sacred grooves, cotyledon, shrubs, dicot plants, taproot, fibrous root, terrestrial, habitat, trees, herbs, venation, and here we have the summary. I'll read it for you. We are surrounded by a variety of plants and animals, and that is a part of our biodiversity. Plants and animals can be grouped based on similarities and differences among them. Plants have similarity and differences based on their roots, stem, leaves, flowers, and based on this, that is the method of arranging things in groups. Plants can be grouped as herbs, shrubs, and trees based on their height, stem, and branching pattern. Then based on their seeds, monocot, dicot. So normally monocots exhibit parallel venation and dicot has reticulate venation. Animals have different types of movements that can be basis of their grouping. Biodiversity of different region varies because of distinct environmental conditions. Special features that enable plants and animals to survive is called adaptation. The place where plants and animals live is called as their habitat. For example, camels live in desert. Based on that habitat, we can group them as terrestrial and aquatic. Terrestrial means on land, aquatic means in water. Do you remember? So due to damage of the habitat, plants and animals lose their home. That is where we come. We destroy their houses for our benefit. We must protect it. So it is our duty to protect it so that these animals will survive and thrive. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll stop here.